Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another great power ranking with the hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy. I can't wait to tell you who is the number one, the best team in the NHL for week number 5 for the season 2021-2022. Don't go nowhere. But before we start, we want to remind you, don't forget the power ranking is always from the Sunday to the Saturday. So it is very important you know how we do our power ranking. Secondly, we invite you, don't forget to subscribe. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, click on the like. And finally, tell us, give us, and tell us who is the number one team in NHL for week number 5. So let's dive in. Here we go. Number 32, the Arizona Coyotes. Last week, they have 1-2-0. Yes, one. They beat the Seattle Kraken 5-4, and now they have 1-10-1 since the beginning of the season. Of course, I believe they're going to be at the bottom over there, but great performance to beat an OT, the Seattle Kraken, by a score of 5-4. The number 31, the Chicago Blackhawks. Listen, it's a big story last week. It was the fact they fired the coach, Jeremy Collington, and then they have a new one called Derek King. They won the last game, and of course now they have 2-9-2. Hopefully they're going to find a way to, because I believe the record don't show exactly what time the team they are. Les Bleu Blanc Rouge, les Canadiens, you Abs, of course, 1-3-0 last week, 3-10-0. We can make a lot of excuses, the injuries and everything like that, but that team struggled game after game. After an amazing, great first period against Vegas, they found a way to lose 5-2, 20 shots in first period. They cannot win, they cannot hammer, they cannot score a goal. That's the biggest problem with the Montreal Canadiens. Number 29, they never changed their spot also. 0-3-1. Talk about the 3 prior team struggle. The Ottawa struggle also 3-7-1 at that moment, and they did not win the last 4 game, and it's a thing right now. They try to find a way to get out of their hole, and I believe also that team should be better. The Seattle Kraken 1-2-0 last week. I dropped them a 1 in the ranking, 4-7-1 since the beginning of the season. They showed to us some flash, and then after that, they don't play the level they should play. 1-2-0 last week. They lost a big game against Arizona Coyotes. I think this hopefully do not keep them, on the negativity, but come back better, stronger the next game. The inconsistency team, I call them the inconsistent team, because you don't know who show up. 1-1-1 last week, 4-5-2 since the beginning of the year. One great game, one bad game. One great game, one bad game. It's like this for over 2 years now with them, since the finalists of the Stanley Cup. So I dropped them off 2. They are number 27 in NHL at that moment. Number 26, the Colorado Avalanche. What? Yes. 0-1-1 last week, 4-5-1. It's a team, we have a lot of injuries for them, we understand. But they should not be there, I believe. I dropped them off 4. McKinnon struggle over there, and he cannot score a lot of goals. It's a team cannot find. McCarry's heart is out. The COVID-19 hurt them also. Overall, did not play as really who they are at the end of the day. We'll see the outcome. A team is hot in NHL, is the Los Angeles King. I bring them 3 higher for the week, 25th, and this week, 2-0-0, 5-5-1. There was a 1-5-1, I believe, at some point. Now they win the last 4 games. They're looking great so far for the King, and the Yafalo with Kempe and Dano doing well. The Nashville Predators coach, what? Yeah, I'm a little bit hard on them. I think I should be a little bit higher when I review my power ranking, but I will leave them for this week, one more week at 24. Did not move up and down. 6-5-1 after they have a 4th straight win. They are now 2-1-1 last week. Overall, it's all about the captain. Have an amazing, great year. They play without Forsberg. A team, obviously, have a lot of injury, COVID-19 and injuries. Malkin, Crosby, Leighton Carter. And they found a way by Mike Sullivan, amazing, great coach so far. 1-0-1 last week, 4-3-2 since the beginning of the year. Is a team right now, they find a way. They need to get better. But look, we have to give credit where they are right now with all the injury. That's pretty amazing season so far. The Vancouver Canucks, big win yesterday, 5-6-1, 2-1-0. They little bit getting better. Elias Pettersson is getting harder also. I leave them at number 22 again this week. I think that team will be increasing their ranking for the next couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure. I think they did not reach their full potential at that moment. Number 21 in NHL is the Buffalo Sabres. We're starting to see the real Buffalo Sabre after a great start of the season. I dropped them a 5. They are 0-2-1, 5-4-2 since the beginning of the season. I think you can see they starting to really struggle more and more week by week at that moment. Number 20 in NHL for the upcoming week, they are, honestly, the New Jersey Devils. Devils have 1-1-1. They now lost a couple of players. Jack Hughes, that's a one. Doug Hamilton, that's another one over there. 5-3-2. They play a couple of games without the goaltender, Bernier and Blackwood. So it's a team struggle with injuries. Hopefully they will not be too much damage. The Metropolitan Division guy is a solid one, and I decrease of them of 2. The Vegas Golden Knights, 6-6-0 since the beginning of the year. 2-2-0. Talk about New Jersey with Colorado, with injuries, with Montreal. Vegas is another one. Stone, Carlson, White Cloud, Matt Nice at some point, Pacioretty. Now Jack Eichel play with them. That's the story for last week. They trade for Jack Eichel. And they can hang in there for a couple of weeks with 500 average. I think that they'll be fine for the playoff. I don't see no problem. Finally, at number 18 for the NHL is Anaheim Ducks. Really surprised to see them. Really great weeks last week. 3-0-1, 6-4-3. I increased them a 7. What about Troy Terry? A season of 11 straight points right now at that moment. Troy Terry play an amazing over there. John Gibson is another one. So great performance so far for the Anaheim Ducks. Let's jump in number 16 and we talk about the 17, the Detroit Red Wings. 2-2-0 last week. With a season 6-5-2. I did not move back them. I leave them there. What about Lucas Raymond? What about Maurice Sader? What about Tyler Bertuzzi? What about Thomas Greaves? They play better what we expect them. Congratulations also for the coach, Jeff Bazil. They are doing well. They win again Vegas yesterday. Great performance so far. Number 16, San Jose Sharks. Dropped them a 6. They have started the season very well. This last week, not too bad. 1-1-1. 6-4-1, but the team, I believe they're going to, you see them in Detroit a bit lower at some point. I would not be shocked to see that. But again, we have to give credit for so far after 11 games. San Jose doing very well at that moment. Number 15, the Boston Bruins, 1-1-0 last week, 5-4-0. They lost a big game against the Toronto Maple Leafs Saturday. But what about the 4 goal of Patrice Bergeron, 4 assists for Brett Marchand? At that moment, I think they're still missing the second center. I think that will hurt them. I don't see that team a little bit lower at 13, between 13 18 at the end of the year. I dropped them a 4. But again, it's not the Boston Bruins we know. What about a surprise in the NHL as a team? This is the one. The Columbus Blue Jackets, 2-0-0 last week, 7-3-0. They lost Patrick Laney. They missed a lot of games with Max Domi. But what about the goaltender? Both them are amazing. Capucello and Mesligan doing absolutely amazing job over there. And very surprised to see them at 7-3-0 at that moment. The Tampa Bay, they look like the Tampa Bay guys. They're looking better and better weeks after week. I increased them of 1, 2-0-1 last week, 6-3-2 since the beginning of the year. Kucherov is not there yet. I think that team is going to be around 10, 8-12 at the end of the year. But again, it's a team right now doing absolutely great things so far. A good week for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 12, the Winnipeg Jets. 2-1-1 last week, 6-3-2 since the beginning of the year, increasing of 4. What about Kyle Connor? What about Pierre-Luc Dubois? What about Pionk and Schmartz? And they are looking better and better. Without Eli Biuk, it is still continues to win. Eric Comrie does a great job in front of the net so far, and that team's getting more and more better and better. And then Sheffley and Wheeler back in the game and the team right now. The Philadelphia Flyers, another great week this week, 201, 6-2-2. They are on the top of the Metropolitan Division. A great job over there for the Alain Vigneault with the players. You know, one night is Konechny, another night is Giroux, another night is Couturier. Carter Hart doing well, Martin Job doing John doing well. They're missing Ren Ellis, but again, that team doing well. The Capitals Washington have a bad weeks overall. 0-2-1. I dropped them a 7. 5-2-4. They're missing now. They feel like they're still missing Oshie. Now Backstrom is out. What about Ovechkin? 10 goal in 10 game. Tom Wilson doing well with him in the line. But again, can consider to win without Oshie, and they lost, of course, they lost also Anthony Mentor for a couple of weeks, so a big blow out for them. The New York Islanders, 2-1-0, 5-3-2, drop them a 1. Why, coach? They have only 5-3-2. Look, they play only on the road since the beginning of the year. To play over 500 on the road, I think that's pretty amazing. That's the team I believe is going to be the top 8 at the end of the season. 2-1-0. Play a bad game yesterday, but overall they have a good week. The New York Rangers, 0-1-2. That's the team now I'm thinking to drop a little bit more. They have a bad week, 6-3-3, a very difficult game in Calgary. They lost a bad one again, the Edmonton Oilers and overtime. And, you know, Chris Kreider have an amazing, great year so far. What about Chesterkin? Really struggled again. The Calgary Flames was his first game struggle, but overall he's doing well. Number 7, the Minnesota Wild, 3-0-0 last week, 8-3-0, a great run so far. Look, we have to give credit, and plus Kaprizov is getting hot. He scored 2 goals. Zuccarello is back. Their defense is doing well. What about the goaltender, Kakukin, and also Talbot? Is a well done by the coach over there, Dane Everson. The St. Louis Blues, bad game the last one, but overall they're doing well. They are 7-2-1. I dropped them off 2-1-1 last week. But again, it's a team right now is going to be fine, but really good overall. Bennington looking good, and also, of course, the forward like Kirou and Perron's doing well. Now they lost Brendan Shane, which is interesting to know how long it will be. This is the hottest team right now in NHL, of course. They have won the last 5 games, 3-0-0 last week, 7-4-1. Bad news for the rest of the team in NHL. Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander are getting hot. Jack Campbell looked like the Jack Campbell we know last season. That team is getting better and better. They will be at the top 5 for the rest of the year, I believe. They are well doing. Their defense is looking better also. The Calgary Flames, talk about surprise, 1-0-2 last week, 7-1-3. Since the beginning of the year, I increased them of 3 on the rank. Markstrom, 4 shootouts so far. But what about Goudreau, Kachuk, Langham, and now they wake up a Shane Monahan now. So that team is getting better and better. And Darryl Sutter does a great job behind the bench. So congratulations to Sutter as the head coach. Number 2 of 3, the Edmonton Oilers. Perfect weeks, 3-0-0, 9-1-0. An amazing, great weeks of McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Find a way to beat the Rangers and OT last week. And it was one of the most exciting games. Plus, what about the goal of Connor McDavid? Unbelievable about that one there. Finally, the last one I want to talk about is the top 2 in NHL. Let's start with number 2, the Carolina Hurricanes, 1-1-0. They lost their last game after they won the first 9 by the Florida Panthers. And I dropped them number 2 after they was number 1 last week. Bad performance against the Florida Panthers, but great season so far, 9-1-0. They lost now the goaltender, Renta. What about Anderson? Frederick Anderson. Amazing, great start. Jeff Nikov's doing well also. The number 1 from South Florida, the Florida Panthers, number 1 power ranking this week, 2-0-0. After they was number 1 for a couple of weeks now, they dropped them last week, number 2. We have to come back. Number 1, 10-0-1. 10-0-1. Amazing, great performance, guy. You have so many names. Without Barkov, they beat the Carolina Hurricane last week. So amazing what the South Florida is doing. We know they lost Kenville. Andrew Brunet's doing well behind. Lundell back in the lineup, score. That team is unbelievable. That's the reason they are the number 1. So, guys, before we leave, we want to remind you, don't forget to subscribe Don't forget to click on the likes and tell us what you think about my power ranking. Tell me, Coach, you're completely wrong. You should put that team there. You should put that team. Let me know about this. That would be great. But before we leave, also, of course, you have greatness inside of you. Thanks again for watching another great power ranking with the hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy. I wish you an amazing, great week. I see you next Monday. Bonne journée, mes amis. Merci d'avoir regardé une autre vidéo avec le Power Ranking, avec l'entraîneur coach Frenchy. Je vous souhaite une très belle semaine et je vous revois lundi prochain.